I'm going to make a statement, and usually I'll have at least a few people in the audience who can validate what I say. And so now I'm just going to have to say, it's been validated. So what I usually say at this point in the presentation is that if you use a paddock shift system, that you'll get 5 times more biomass, 5 times more growies in each paddock. And in many ways it doesn't make sense, but there's 40 different things that contribute to making that happen. And there's been oodles and oodles of studies, but it's like, you know, this is now the system that so many farmers use, is paddock shift. And as permaculturalists, I mean, this is what a huge part of Alan Savory's work is trying to emulate when you had animals in huge herds, and they were kept in huge herds by predators, constantly circling and picking them off. And then they would pulse through a system, and they might not return for months. And so we've found a variety of ways to emulate that. But if you just take a paddock or a pasture and you fence it off and don't let anything into it, then Alan Savory's work has shown many, many pictures of how that is what causes desertification. Now, of course, Helen Attow will fence a property off, and then it will thrive, because the greatest fertilizer a garden knows is the gardener's shadow, right? And so Helen's in there doing stuff, and so she's kind of, in a way, doing the cow's work. And so in a way, not exactly, but she's bringing fertilization to this. She's nurturing this patch. But there's a lot to be said for, in fact, there was a movie that came out over a year ago, I think it was called Inhabit, and then it had Ben Falk in it. And Ben Falk said something about, once we brought sheep in here, everything grew more than the previous 6 years combined. So, in my arrogant and obnoxious opinion, the best. You need 4 more paddocks. The chickens will spend 7 to 10 days in a paddock. Each paddock gets 28 or more days of rest between visits. You can do permanent or temporary fencing. Paddocks are famous for getting 5 times the vegetation than similar areas that are not part of a paddock shift system. So this is one that I saw. This is the one where, when I saw it, they were angry that the chickens got out and ate the strawberries. But you know, that's that Electronet, Premier One Supplies. Now, for ages I used electric fence, and then when we were to the point that we were talking about bringing in chickens here, and I bought a bunch of Electronet fence. I've got it here somewhere. And it occurred to me that if what I want is to live in a plethora of life, and I want to have this magnificent, beautiful system with lots of chickens and lots of you know, gardens and things of that nature, that does an electric fence add to that, or does an electric fence take away from that?
Takes away.
Yeah, I really started to think that, so an electric fence is amazingly effective. Although my journeys to other farms, as well as my experience with my brother being here, is it's like apparently most people, I mean like 85%, just cannot wrap their heads around how an electric fence works. It is a psychological barrier. And so the thing is, and then the other thing is, you got to mow wherever you're going to put the fence. If you don't mow where you put the fence, then there's little grasses and weeds touching the fence and shorten it out. And so I remember one time I'm talking to my brother, and he's like, this electric fence is shit. It doesn't work with a damn. I don't know why you ever used them. They're all worthless. And I said, well, you got to mow first. I did. I don't know what you call mowing, but I can see grasses and stuff touching the electric fence right now. There's not a single grass touching this. And I pointed like right at his feet, and there's a grass touching it. It's like you can see it going snap, snap, snap. What about that one right there at your feet? Well, that's dry. So you're hoping it'll catch on fire? and then I've just been to so many places, and it's like the Premier One Supplies stuff, they provide like awesome information about their products, and their products are generally the best. And when it comes to doing electric fence, if you're going to travel that path, do the best. Of course, I would suggest everybody do what I do, which is going to be moving away from electric fence and going to all permanent fence. It takes more work, but I think it adds to the other side of you live in beauty rather than living in something that kind of sucks your soul away slowly. All right, notice that everything on here can be a 10. I mean, it's possible to have a paddock shift system that you've built that is shitty, but I think for the most part it's at the very least a step in the right direction. It can be done urban. This is an urban paddock shift system in Seattle. And so she's got those little kind of dog panel things, and she just moves those around. And her chickens are meat birds. And so layers will clear a 6-foot fence. But meat birds tend to like, oh man, that 3-foot fence, that looks like a hassle. I'll just stay here. This is good. I'm good here. So they work pretty good. And of course it also has to do with, like, if you're in a paddock that is barren, then yeah, the chicken wants to get out. But if the paddock has lots of stuff in it, the chicken's like, no, this is good. I'm good right here. I don't need to bother with that fence. And then of course there's also the whole trick of like clipping one wing. You clip the feathers off of one wing, and then if they try to fly, well, actually they kind of fly like this. Ah, crash! Ah, crash! And so it's like, I hate flying. Every time I try to fly, I crash. Stupid flying. All right, so here's Coop and Run up at the top, and you can kind of see, is there like a little brown line right there, right along the fence? Mm-hmm. Do you know why that is?
The poop, the denuded areas. Stare out at all the other grass.
But they got grass inside, right? That's a nice big run. There's some stuff in there.
You come out of the house with feed?
They love you. They love you so much. They wait right next to the fence for the next time you're going to come out and bring them treats. And so then this area by the fence, they just go back and forth hoping you're going to come out, and they can like talk to you and mostly say, are you bringing me ice cream? Is that ice cream? Is that ice cream you're carrying? Is it strawberries? So, anyway, we're going to move along and we're going to introduce paddocks. So paddock number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Look, special effects. Paddocks, yeah, baby. And then this space down here, I think it's called the green strip. So you got the sidewalk here and the road. I usually put big gardens in this in urban environments, and then I'm trying to also show like, oh look, there's a little portable coop. If you like this sort of thing, come on out to the forums at permies.com, where we talk about animal husbandry, homesteading, and permaculture all the time.